Today, we're going to crack open the playbook of a 30-year trading veteran, a guy named Kahan. We're going to distill decades of his experience into a simple guide for surviving what is, without a doubt, the market's toughest test, the very beginning of your journey. So let's start with a really stark number. You've probably heard of the 90-90-90 rule, and it's a brutal reality Kahan knows all too well. It goes like this: 90% of new traders lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days. So our goal today is pretty simple. How do you make sure you land in that other 10%? Right, so how do you join that exclusive 10% club? Well, before you can win, you have to understand why almost everyone else loses. We've got to look at the common pitfalls that trap that 90%. And according to Kahan, it often starts with a single incredibly dangerous thought. These are the four most expensive words in trading. This time is different. The second you think this, it means your emotions are starting to take over. It means you're about to break from your system. And, as Kahan bluntly puts it, you might as well just follow that thought up with, well, here comes the most money I'm ever going to lose. See, that mindset is almost always the prelude to a catastrophic loss, because the moment you decide this time is different, you've stopped trading and you've started gambling. The next massive trap is something Kahan calls the victim mentality. This is a huge one. It's when you refuse to take ownership of your decisions. It's when a loss is always someone else's fault. Instead of asking, okay, where did my process go wrong? The novice trader's gut reaction is, they screwed me. They hunted my stop. This way of thinking is a total dead end. It completely shuts down the learning process, because if you can't analyze your own mistakes, you are absolutely doomed to repeat them. Okay, so if those are the traps that cause failure, how in the world do professionals avoid them? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental mental shift, a completely different way of looking at what the goal of trading actually is when you're just starting out. And this is it. This is the absolute heart of the professional mindset. See, new traders are always chasing big profits, but the pros, they are obsessed with survival. Their number one job is capital preservation, because you can't win the game if you're not even in it. The profits, they only come after you've mastered how to not lose. And believe me, this isn't some new idea. Kahan talks about the old trading pits. You know, the screaming, the chaos. Back then, if you could just survive for 6 months, not make $1 million, just break even, you were considered a success. Why? Because it proved you had the most important skill of all. You knew how to stay in the game. This brings us to a super common myth, one that feeds directly into that victim mentality we just talked about, this idea that the market is personally out to get you. I mean, we've all felt this, right? The price ticks down just far enough to trigger your stop loss, and then, bam! It immediately reverses and goes in the direction you predicted. It feels personal. So, is it some big conspiracy? Well, according to Kahan, the reality is a lot more about psychology than it is about conspiracy. A giant market maker isn't hunting your little 100-share order. The truth is, thousands and thousands of traders all think alike. We're predictable. We all place our stops at the same obvious round numbers, $50, $100. So the market naturally gravitates towards these giant pools of orders. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, not a personal attack. Okay, so now that we've busted a myth and we understand the right mindset, let's get into the actionable stuff. This is the professional's playbook for building a foundation that will actually last. So how do you put all of this into practice? Kahan boils it down to 4 pillars. Now, these aren't flashy or sexy. They are the bedrock, the foundation of a sustainable trading career, and they're designed to keep your emotions out and your discipline in. First, you absolutely have to define your risk. That means knowing exactly how much you are willing to lose before you even click the buy button. That decision, made when you're calm and rational, is your anchor when the market gets crazy. Second, trade small. The market will teach you painful lessons whether you're trading 1 contract or 100. You might as well learn those lessons cheaply. Third, find a community. Trading alone can be a dangerous echo chamber. You need other people to bounce ideas off of, to challenge your beliefs. And finally, have a system. This is your constitution. It's your set of rules that protects you from your own worst impulses, especially that urge to think, this time is different. It is so critical to remember this. Kahan says that every single long-term trader he knows has a deep sense of humility. The market is bigger than you, it's smarter than you, it's more powerful than you. Respect it, or believe me, it will force you to. And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. Your biggest opponent in the market, it isn't some high-frequency trading firm or a massive hedge fund. It's you.
The entire battle is one of self-discipline, emotional control, and just consistently executing your process over and over again.
So I'll leave you with this one question, and it gets right to the heart of everything Kahan teaches. I want you to take a hard, honest look at what you're doing. Are you methodically building a system designed for long-term survival? Or are you just walking up to a slot machine, pulling the lever, and just hoping for the best? The answer to that question will determine which side of that 90% statistic you end up on.